Today on SCOREGolf TV, we're in Hilton Head, South Carolina with the story of how RBC came to the rescue of one of the PGA Tour's most historic tournaments. Today on SCOREGolf TV.
This is SCOREGolf, the voice of Canadian golf. SCOREGolf is powered by Volkswagen, from one good drive to another. And brought to you by RBC, proud sponsor of the RBC Canadian Open. Now, here's your host, Bob Weeks.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of SCOREGolf TV. Well, this is Harbour Town. It's a beautiful spot, one of the best loved golf courses on the PGA Tour, one of the best tournaments on the PGA Tour. However, it almost ended after last year. There was no sponsor until RBC came to the rescue. We're going to tell you that story a little bit later in our show, but let's get things started today on SCOREGolf TV by talking to a few PGA Tour pros.
PRO-SPECTIVE, meeting today's PGA Tour stars.
Let's get started with an interview with eventual winner of the 2012 RBC Heritage Classic and the 2010 RBC Canadian Open champion, the big Swede Carl Peterson. We wanted to know what his favorite memory of playing at St. George's in Toronto was.
Well, obviously shooting 60 on Saturday, but also the way I wanted on Sunday. I was back, a couple back playing the back nine and played really well coming in, and it was kind of a come from behind win. But I enjoyed playing the golf course all week, and it was a fun week and a special win for me.
7 beers on Friday helped too?
Not always, but that time it did. Yeah, it was a memorable week. It was a different week, winning from making it right on the cut, and it's only been done a few other times. So it was a memorable weekend for sure.
Moving from one former RBC Canadian Open champ to another, let's hear from Jim Furyk and his feelings about playing with the RBC logo on his bag.
You know, I think relationships grow over time. This is, right in the start of my second year with them, and carrying the logo, I've gotten a chance to meet some of the people from the company, and I've had a lot of success up in Canada as well, winning up there a couple times. So it was a good natural fit for me. I've been a client of theirs for a long time in the past, and it made a lot of sense, and I'm proud to be a part of the company.
There is probably nobody more excited about getting back to Hamilton Golf and Country Club for the 2012 RBC Canadian Open this July than two-time national champion Furyk.
I missed the first time we were in Hamilton was probably in about the 01-02 range, 03. I missed that event, and I remember a lot of the guys on tour saying, boy, he would have loved the golf course. And so I wanted to get back there in 06. I wanted to check it out and see it. And I knew from the first time I played a practice round with it, I was very comfortable with the shots. I felt good about the golf course, and I'm glad that translated into a good week where I was able to win. So, it's an old classic golf course. You have to hit a lot of shots around it. It got the greens got very difficult. Remember, they got pretty firm, pretty glassy and fast, and scores weren't that good. So, I kind of enjoyed battling it out there, and I just love the golf course.
And what about South Africa's Big Easy, Ernie Els? Will he be coming to Hamilton after the British Open for this year's national championship?
Absolutely. I'll be playing the RBC Canadian Open. I hear it's in Toronto.
Hamilton,
yeah. At Hamilton. I don't believe I've played there before. I've played Glen Abbey quite a few times in the 90s, but we're great to come to Toronto again and, hopefully, play well up there.
Well, you heard it here on SCOREGolf first, as Els will be at this year's tournament in Ontario. His confirmation to play in the event is in part, no doubt, due to his relationship with RBC.
Well, we've had a good relationship, I mean, I'm South African, and obviously RBC is a Canadian bank, they're also branching out worldwide, and obviously I've always been a worldwide golfer. So I think it works out for them like that. We've done some RBC golf days around the globe in Asia and so forth. And, and they're coming into golf big time, and I think it's a really great opportunity for them. Golf is growing. We've got a great young talent that's coming through in the game now, so it's exciting times.
And what about England's Luke Donald? Here's one of the world's best players, sponsored by one of golf's biggest backers, Canada's very own RBC.
Well, I do love working for them. Obviously, they've really gotten into golf in the last few years, and they've signed up quite a few players and good players. I think You know, I've always tried to surround myself with premier brands, and RBC is one of the biggest banks in the world. So I'm enjoying the relationship.
Donald has spent time as the world's #1 golfer and was atop of the money list on both the European and PGA Tours in 2011. He's won tournaments, he's played in international events. The only thing that seems to be missing is a major win.
Well, certainly that's my focus, but that's been my focus since I've turned pro. You know, you always want to play and win the big events, and those are the majors. So, yeah, obviously, the last few years I've been doing extremely well in terms of winning tournaments, and obviously winning both the money titles, getting to #1. You know, I've checked off a lot of the so-called marks in golf, but yeah, I'd love to get my name on a major.
One of RBC's tour players is one of Canada's greatest golfers and named by ScoreGolf as Canada's all-time greatest golfer, nudging out George Knudson for top spot. It's Mike Weir, and he's still working to return to form that helped him win 8 PGA Tour events.
Yeah, I'm working hard, and I feel like there's some light there for sure. So just need to keep plugging away here. I go back to my early days before I got on the PGA Tour. That was 6 or 7 years of hard grind and missing lots of cuts and doing this type of thing. And this is a different scenario. This actually happened here 2 years ago when it started. I hit a tree root on the 11th hole here 2 years ago at this point, and I think I was 1 or 2 up the lead at that time, and it's been a struggle ever since that shot. Battling my elbow, and now as I've said many times, shaking out those things, trying to play through that, and some of the bad things I got into in my golf swing, trying to play through that, and now trying to climb my way back.
Weir is another RBC sponsor player, and just like the other guys, he's proud to work with the great Canadian bank.
It's been quite a long partnership now, and yeah, I'm happy to be on that team. We've added quite a few guys to the team, which is great, and it just shows you the commitment that they have to golf and to Canadian golf, and myself and David and Steven and the Canadian guys that are on the tour. So they're a big part of my team.
Another established Canadian Tour pro who had an incredibly successful season in 2011 is David Hearn. Here's a guy who's thankful for his RBC sponsorship, one that has been going on for more than a decade.
When I first turned pro back in 2001, and I was playing the Canadian Tour, we started up a relationship. I would come to their event in Mississauga, the RBC Insurance Golf Day. They raise good money for a lot of charities in Toronto. They pick a different one every year. They've been a big sponsor of mine and helper over the years. And with RBC now getting involved, with the Canadian Open here at the RBC Heritage, they've also tied in to be a sponsor now for me full-time, which is great.
Born and raised in Brantford, Ontario, this year's RBC Canadian Open is like a home game for Hearn.
For me, that's probably the favorite spot in Canada for me to play at Hamilton. I grew up 20 minutes down the road from there. It's always been that club when I was a kid. You're very excited to go play there, and I have the Canadian Open there. It's been there twice since I've been a professional, and I really love playing that golf course. I just enjoy the atmosphere. The views out on that golf course are great. I had a good event the last time I was there. I was low Canadian, so I'm looking forward to getting back and improving on that.
Sticking with the Canadians, Calgary's Stephen Ames is closing in on Champions Tour eligibility, but his game is still PGA Tour quality. How does he maintain his health to keep up with the young generation of pro golfers coming through?
My main goal has always been to try and stay as fit as I can. I think I'm doing a really good job with that right now. And if I continue playing to the ability that I know I'm capable of playing, I can see myself still staying out here till 50, 53, for all I know, and go on from there. But my desire is still there.
Saskatchewan's Graham Dillette is trying to regain the same form that saw him finish as Canada's top money winner back in 2010. After missing most of last year with a back injury, he's still feeling like parts of his game haven't returned.
It's kind of one of those things. I feel like I'm playing well enough, and there's days where I do, and it's just the consistency really hasn't been there this year. One day it's the putting, one day it's kind of the ball striking. I feel like I really haven't been consistent with my ball striking like I normally am, and that can save days where if I'm not making any putts, I can still kind of scrape around or miss some putts and shoot even par, and it hasn't really been like that this year. But it feels close, and it feels like I just need one or two good rounds or a good weekend just to kind of get some confidence going. I mean, the guys are so good, and you just have to really be on top of it all the time if people don't really understand.
Coming up, we'll take a look at how RBC saved the tournament in Hilton Head. Well, last year when Brant Snedeker tapped in to win the Heritage Classic, there were some big doubts as to whether or not there would be another winner, another tournament in 2012. However, RBC came to the rescue in what is a growing portfolio of golf for them. They've added to the RBC Canadian Open as well as contracts they have with a number of the top players in the game. And it made sense for RBC from a number of different standpoints. Here's why they chose to save this historic tournament.
Welcome to the RBC Heritage. On the tee, please welcome Mr. Tommy Gainey.
The RBC Heritage, previously known as the Heritage Classic, was first played in 1969. Over its 40-plus years of history, it's always been played at Harbortown Golf Links at the Sea Pines Resort on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. It's a course designed by famed architect Pete Dye with assistance from Jack Nicklaus. It's always been a favorite stop for PGA Tour players because the course is challenging yet incredibly beautiful.
This is a great classic golf course, one of the older tour events that we've had around here. And, you know, I think all the players love this place. This is just a very family-oriented place on one of the gems that we still play out here. I mean, most of the time we're playing on courses that are very long and difficult. This one is just as difficult, but it's not that long, and it's you know, just shows you that good architecture in golf courses can go a long way.
This is one of my favorite events. You know, I've been playing here since 1994, and you know, it's just a wonderful place. You can bring family. You know, the golf course speaks for itself. You know, it's so highly regarded by the players.
All of us tour players were shocked when you'd think that maybe we could lose this tournament because everyone loved the town, loved the golf course. It would have been a shame.
It was really, you know, at the last hour. You know, last year at this time in the tournament, they had they had some leads, they had some corporations that they brought in and tried to show them how nice this event was. But you know, it got pretty close to the end of maybe losing this golf tournament.
The event had a sponsor for many decades up until 2011 when it was played without one. There was some concern during last year's event that the PGA Tour would close up shop at Hilton Head and move to a new location almost immediately.
It's amazing to think of, I mean, where we were, and people don't really realize how dire straits we were in, too. We had no idea. You know, the Sunday after the event or the Monday after the event, we didn't know where we were going. I really thank the media as well as the players for saying the right things. The players stepped up, and it wasn't like, whatever, the event goes away, I'll play somewhere else. And all of a sudden it went from no's not an option to can's not an option, like, hey, we're going to get it done. And the players had a lot to do with it, you all as the media did too.
Fortunately, RBC stepped in and showed their interest in the tournament. However, it didn't happen overnight.
Very, very, very first proposal we ever sent out in the fall of 2009, prior to our previous sponsor leaving, was to RBC. So we've been engaged with them for a while. Last year during the tournament, we were entertaining 6-8 very strong candidates, and RBC stepped to the table, and you know, we're obviously very excited about it. We actually have spent more time with the senior leadership and level of RBC than we had with our previous sponsor over the last few years beforehand. And obviously they have their ambassadors, which is key, and you know, they have the love for the game. But you know, obviously you can see we're not laying out the red carpet treatment, but the blue carpet treatment.
For RBC, sponsoring golf makes good sense for their brand as they continue to build their name around the globe.
You know, the tournament was in trouble to some degree, and it's a wonderful tournament. And, you know, it would have been a real shame to lose this venue on the PGA Tour. Players love it. I think it's ranked number 2 in terms of popularity amongst the players, and it's got a lot of history. It's been played here for 44 years, and for it to have disappeared, I think would have been a real shame. So it's nice to be able to help out. You know, golf works for us particularly outside of Canada. Our businesses outside of Canada tend to be wealth management, capital markets, custody businesses that the demographic of golf plays very well to. And one of the challenges we have outside of Canada is brand recognition. In Canada, everybody knows who RBC is. Outside of Canada, less so. So, you know, to that demographic, the exposure that we get from advertising and from, you know, the events that we're able to hold with our players and so forth has been very effective in terms of getting our brand a little better known outside of Canada.
Regardless of why RBC stepped in to sponsor this tournament, players recognize the bank's importance to the game of golf as a whole.
Royal Bank of Canada has been just doing great for the game of golf, sponsoring a lot of players, and then also the Canadian Open, and then to come in and save this was great.
Well, you get it from all the volunteers and all the people here, how appreciative they are that that RBC stepped in, because it's you know, they were in serious trouble there. They were going to lose the tournament, and it's been such a stalwart of the tour and favorite stop of the players, and everybody, all the fans, everybody really enjoys this tournament. I think, you know, being the week after the Masters, everybody just enjoys this week of family time, and you know, it's such a beautiful spot. So I think it was big for RBC to step in here. I think, you know, being such a popular stop, I think it was a home run for both all the people around here and for RBC. I think they're getting great exposure too.
It has such a storied history on the PGA Tour. It's a player favorite, and Hilton has just a beautiful place to visit. So it's a great family-oriented spot. So you know, I'm happy that someone jumped in, but even more proud that it was RBC, being that I already represented them and already loved this golf tournament. So selfishly, it was a perfect fit for me, but I'm really hoping that that it's a good fit for RBC, and they understand why the players have liked it for so many years. I'm hoping it's just as good for them.
You know, RBC obviously is doing some great things in golf with all the, you know, the two events, the Canadian Open in here, and a lot of the guys, and some of the girls also on the LPGA Tour. So, you know, this is an event that, I mean, this is only my second time here, but a lot of guys would have hated to see go, so it's nice that RBC stepped in.
RBC has created an invaluable reputation for itself within the game of golf, and one that's creating a buzz that can be heard all over North America and into parts of Europe and Asia. But perhaps its most important impact can be felt at the local level. This is the biggest single sporting event in South Carolina and responsible for putting more than $50 million back into the local economy. And fans and volunteers such as Doc Holman, who's been working at the tournament for 26 years, are ever so thankful.
Well, I thought my 25th anniversary was going to be my last anniversary here, but thank God RBC came through, and we are so grateful. They stepped up in a big way. They have really become our friends real quick.
Coming up, we take you to Ontario's Georgian Bay region and the Cranberry Golf Resort.
Travel Getaways, looking at Canada's best golf destinations. Brought to you by SCOREGolf Tee Times. Go online, book your tee times with SCOREGolf today.
This week we head to Ontario's Georgian Bay region, located just 90 minutes north of Toronto, to the Cranberry Golf Resort in Collingwood. While this region boasts some incredibly beautiful courses, none can match Cranberry, as it holds the distinction of being Canada's first Audubon Society certified course. What does that mean? Well, it means that part of Cranberry Resort's mission is to conserve and protect the location's natural ecosystem, particularly birds and other wildlife, for the benefit of humanity and the Earth's biological diversity. The course does that and a lot more too, as it's a beautiful, well-manicured layout that's friendly to all levels of golfers.
We have a lot of tee decks with multiple skill levels available. So, you know, you don't have to be an expert, you don't have to be, you know, a low handicap player to enjoy the golf course. We are a full resort facility, and we have amenities for the non-golfers in the group as well. So maybe while the golfers are out playing, you're lounging by the pool. So we have a lot of different activities available. It's very common for you to see all kinds of wildlife out here: deer, geese, lots of different birds of prey, fox. It's a nice setting to be out here.
Recently, Cranberry has gone through some renovations, all leading to a much more challenging course that requires golfers to showcase all the skills in their game.
Well, if you've played with us in the past, we encourage you to come back out, because all of our renovations are done and the golf course is a lot different than it's been in the past. We have a wide variety of shots available now. We have to hit fades, you know, you've got to hit hooks, carries over creeks and ponds, a lot of new shots for you to hit. We do have a couple of rock features in the middle of fairways. You kind of have to be aware of them. You could end up behind them. They're not exactly in the landing zones, but if your shot's a little weaker or offline, then you will be there.
The 10th is one of the layout's signature holes that can play over 500 yards from the back tee. It's a beautiful hole and one superb reason to play Cranberry Golf Resort.
I really enjoy the 10th hole. It's been remodeled. There's a lot of bunkering in there now. It makes the second shot a real risk-reward. You have to try and carry those bunkers, a very narrow landing zone, but you can get there. If you fail and you're in one of those pot bunkers, it will be quite a difficult shot.
Every hole here is like a hole unto itself. The tree-lined fairways make each hole seem as if it's a world unto its own. At times it can feel as if you're the only player on the course, despite having numerous golfers enjoy the course at any one time.
The course does offer a wide variety of shots. The par 3s with a lot of new decks are some of my favorite holes out here. Very tree-lined fairways. Over the last couple of years we've planted over 130 new trees. It is very common to feel like you're only person on the golf course because of the tree-lined fairways. It is a true test for a lot of different skill levels. We have 4 decks, and from the back deck it plays extremely long, longer than the posted yardage, which is just over 6,500 yards. It's a tough golf course from back there.
With its close proximity to Toronto, Cranberry Golf Resort is a destination for families looking for a getaway from the busy life.
Well, it's a great getaway destination. We are only an hour and a half north of Toronto. We have a lot of outside golf activities to take part in. We have a beautiful marina and waterfront. Wasaga Beach is only 15 minutes down the road. And in the wintertime, we have Blue Mountain for the skiing. So a great destination for your weekend getaways.
Cranberry Golf Resort is in its 25th year of existence, and the course is celebrating its birthday in an unusual fashion, but maybe the perfect way for golfers who are looking for a value for their buck.
So we are very excited. It is our 25th anniversary. Every month on the 25th, we're having a big celebration. We're offering huge green fee discounts and pro shop discounts, as well as a lot of celebrations throughout the year just to signal our silver anniversary.
If you're looking to get away from the busy city life for a peaceful round of golf, or perhaps even a place to host a reception or an event, then Cranberry Golf Resort is a destination that can take care of all your needs.
I believe in the moments that matter because I've been on a golf course with my son and know it's one of the best times ever. And so golf for me is all about those kind of memories that you can create out there. So
Cranberry Golf Resort truly is a fun and caring community. Coming up, Score Golf wraps up another episode from Hilton Head in South Carolina.
Week Speaks is brought to you by Bushnell, makers of the Pro 1M and Tour Z6 rangefinders.
Harbour Town is a perfect example of why a golf course doesn't need to be 75, 76, 7,700 yards. This design by Pete Dye, with a little help from Jack Nicklaus, tests the PGA Tour pros every year, and they love it. You have to work the ball, you have to go left, you have to go right. Even if you're in the fairway sometimes, you're out of position because of the great trees that are all lining the fairways here. So it just goes to show you that, boy, building a bigger, bolder, meatier golf course sometimes isn't the way to go, not only in the PGA Tour, but also for folks like you and me. That's all the time we have for this week on Score Golf TV. Until next time, please log on to scoregolf.com, check out all the great Canadian golf information, and we'll see you right here on TSN next time on Score Golf TV.
Thanks for watching Score Golf on TSN, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is powered by Volkswagen. From one good drive to another. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, Feed Your Wild Side, and Kelowna Tourism. 19 golf courses from easygoing to ego-shattering.
Clothing provided by Callaway Golf Canada.